What's up, YouTube? This is your boy, Red Crimson 101. Man, hey, listen, everybody is running around like a chicken with his head cut off about the Microsoft and Activision acquisition. Hold up, that rhymes. Microsoft, Activision, acquisition. Nice rhyme. But anyway, you know, the biggest purchase in gaming. Microsoft bought Activision for $68 billion. That's the biggest acquisition we've ever heard of. They're saying that Sony is scared right now. They even call Microsoft offices and say, hey, Phil, are you still gonna honor the deals that we have set with Activision? Now, if they really did that, if Sony really called Microsoft offices and inquired about still honoring those deals, that's hilarious, and that shows weakness and a little bit of worry. We all know that Nintendo is chilling. Nintendo, they bet on themselves. They put money into themselves and they stand by their IPs. And Sony needs to do the same thing. Sony has a lot of great IPs under their belt. They really don't need Activision, and they need to believe in themselves like Nintendo believe in themselves. But see, the problem with Sony is they never been builders and they never been good leaders. Now, before you Sony fans get upset, let me explain. Sony's just good at copying. They never created. They copied off of Nintendo for years, and whatever the hottest trend is, they always jump on it. We have seen it in the past. And Microsoft, ever since Phil Spencer took over Xbox, has been setting a trap for Sony, and they've been falling into it. Microsoft even challenged Sony to build an Azure-like server for themselves. You know, it's like they've been setting traps, and Sony has just been eating out of Phil Spencer's hand. They need to open their eyes and realize that Microsoft is actually trying to set them up, set a trap for them, and push them in the corner. Now, a lot of people is questioning why such a big acquisition from Microsoft. It could be for several reasons. They said that the acquisition is to build up Game Pass so they can have more games, make it look more attractive. Me personally, I think it's a situation of, if you can't beat them, join them. But in Microsoft case, if you can't beat them, buy them out. Microsoft is just buying out the competition, and they want to sit on these games, sit on these studios, just so Sony, you know, the competition won't get any games. They want to put Sony and the competition in a corner. That's what I think, because Xbox has been a dying brand since the beginning of Xbox One. Their last glory was the Xbox 360. That was their last great system to me, to be honest with you. And they say that Xbox Series X is selling. Not really. If you look at every console always do good, you know, at their initial launch. But if you look at the monthly sales chart and weekly sales chart, Xbox Series S and X has been at the very bottom, with Switch still being the #1 system, and after the Switch is a PS5. And you guys can Google that information. You can look at that information. The information is there. Now, I think Sony should just do their thing. Just bet on themselves like Nintendo, believe in themselves, and just trusting their IPs, and maybe that'll force Sony to bring back games out of the vault like Soulcom and Killzone. Big fan of Killzone. Killzone 3 was the best one. And Twisted Metal, they're bringing out another Twisted Metal game. I mean, that's what's up. I hope it's good, because Twisted Metal 2 and the PSP version was the best versions. But yeah, I mean, you guys, man, just let me know in the comment section what you think about this acquisition, because the whole internet is just going nuts over this news. And they say that Microsoft might not even be done with purchasing. I heard they're gonna continue with a purchasing spree. Excuse me. I heard they're gonna continue with a purchasing spree. Their buying spree's not over with, but we'll see, man. They're just buying out the competition and trying to put the competition trying to put Sony and Nintendo in a corner, I guess. But You know, they say Game Pass is the best value in gaming. I would say it is. It's a good rental service. You know, it saves you some money if you're broke, and you can just test the games out before you buy them. But I'm old school. I like to go out and buy my games. I like to own my games. With Game Pass, I always feel in the back of my mind, I don't own these games. And and you know, Game Pass games, you know, they, you know, every month or so they pull those games away from Game Pass. Now maybe it might change where they keep those games on there a little bit longer, but I subscribe to Game Pass here and there. I don't really depend on it like, you know, a lot of these broke guys out here do. I like to just buy my games and own them, because, you know, when your subscription is up, then what? You can't play those games. And, you know, as an adult, a lot of us don't have time to be, you know, buying Game Pass to keep up with Game Pass to keep our games active, the games that we want to play. You know, that's another bill on top of the bills as an adult that, you know, we already have. But I think I definitely know Nintendo will be okay with Activision acquisition. I think Sony will be fine. They just gotta, you know, just believe in their studios, believe in their IPs, and just keep doing what they do, because, you know, the PS5 has some great titles coming in the near future, a year from now, 2 years from now, or whatever, even this year. So let Microsoft buy up all the studios that they want. You know, that's a double-edged sword. It could either help them in the long run, or it may not help them in the long run, because, you know, a lot of fans could look at a situation like this. First of all, a lot of people really don't like Xbox. If you look at the sales, like, Xbox hasn't been selling at all, and Microsoft is bragging about the Game Pass is 25 million, while Nintendo online is 32 million. So I guess Nintendo online is a better value in gaming, right? Oh man, like these people out here kills me, man. So, like I was saying, the double-edged sword is, in the long run, it may help him in the future, Microsoft, because they're really thinking long term, and it also can backfire on them, because fans could be like, you know what, Microsoft is buying up all these studios. I gotta buy into the Xbox brand just to play Call of Duty, you know, the Evil Within or whatever, right? You know, fans might not even support Activision anymore and their games. Same thing with Bethesda. So all those studios that Microsoft acquired, you know, fans from the Sony camp and Nintendo camp might be like, you know what, since you guys are with Xbox, you're under the Xbox umbrella, we're not even going to buy your games. We're not even going to support your games. And the sales for those games could dwindle. And Activision may look at it like, damn, you know what? It was a bad idea, you know, making Microsoft biased. And the only good thing about that, about Microsoft buying Activision, is, well, they don't have to worry about their financial troubles, because Microsoft will just keep pumping money into Activision or all the companies under their umbrella, so they won't run into any financial troubles. So I mean, that's a good thing. That's a safety net. And I heard that Activision guy, he's getting what, 400 million out of the deal. I could be wrong on that, but I know he's getting a big check, and he's just gonna sail off to the sunset, do what he want to do. Microsoft is crazy, man. I've been saying this for a long time. Microsoft is actually the cancer of gaming. They want to do away with the consoles and turn video game into a service, only because they're a dime brand and they can't beat Sony and Nintendo sales wise. Their console, their Xbox is no competition for Nintendo and Sony, and they know this. So, and I think that's what they're doing, is they're trying to paint this facade, saying that, you know what, you know, we got to get off the consoles, we got to break down that wall of exclusivity. All those games should be in every system. No console should have exclusive games. They want everybody to enjoy all the games. Really? Then why are you buying up all these studios if you want all these games to be on all platforms? That's just straight PR talk. They're not going to spend $6 to $8 billion on acquiring a company just to put all those games and every system out there. They bought Activision and other studios so they can have exclusive games. Because if it was the other way around, you want everybody to have the same games, then why are you buying up all these studios? Like I said, straight PR talk. But you know, these new age generation kids are stupid, and they believe everything that Microsoft says, and they fall into the trap. So I'm not gonna support Microsoft and their bad practices. I'm not an avid Game Pass subscriber. Every now and then I might get a 3-month card, you know, to play a game or two that I really like, but that's about it. Sometimes even 1 month. I'm not a yearly subscriber. So I mean, you know, people, you know, these kids out here aren't really thinking about stuff like that. They're not looking long term, and Phil Spencer and Microsoft know this, and they're taking advantage of that. But to me, Microsoft is just slick PR talk, and they're the cancer of gaming that's growing that needs to be cut out. I don't want a console-less future. I like to have my consoles, and I like to own my physical games, because they can pull the plug on those digital games, those Game Pass games, any day, anytime. I've seen it happen countless times. That's not the era I come from. I like to own my stuff, so I'm not supporting Microsoft and their practices. I got a PS5 and a Series X. I didn't buy it at the store, which means I didn't get my money. But the way how gaming is going, I think these systems are my last system. The only time I'm going to buy a system is when Nintendo comes out with a system. I'm only supporting Nintendo from here on out. I don't like Microsoft and their bad practices, and people are falling for it. I'm not falling for that all digital future. If you want to take away consoles, take away PC too. You need a hardware to play on. It's the same thing. It's all PR talk, man. Microsoft sucks. They're a dime brand. Xbox is a dime brand, and they're just trying to make an excuse that online streaming is the way to go, digital games is the way to go, no consoles, because they know they can't win in the console space. That's all it is. All Microsoft had to do from day one, even with the original Xbox and the 360, was just build studios. What they're doing now with opening new studios, they should have been doing that with the 360. They got lazy, like made a way through the 360 lifespan. They came out with Gears, they came out, you know, titles like BioShock and Mass Effect were born on the 360, and they let those games go to the PlayStation. I mean, they should have been building studios from the original Xbox, more so the 360. And they're just now starting to do that, because I guess they got tired of people saying they don't have any games, they don't have any exclusive games, and that's why people wasn't supporting Xbox One for a very long time. I mean, everything they're doing from the outside, in short sight, it seems good, you know, with opening the studios and buying studios, yes, but they're just buying out the competition and trying to put the squeeze on Sony and Nintendo, put them in a corner to force people and to force them to fold and, you know, go all digital. So, because once they do that, you know, Microsoft won, because Microsoft controls, you know, they control the internet. So everybody has to pay Microsoft, you know, their little revenues. So that's what they're doing. They say Google is the enemy and all that. Oh, that's just PR talk. Google don't know anything about video games. That's why Google Stadia is shot. Google Stadia, actually, their service is a lot more stable. Actually, I think their service is better than Game Pass. Their game doesn't lag. Internet is stable. But that's another talk for another day. But you guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about the Microsoft and Activision acquisition. Nintendo's not worried. Sony's shouldn't be worried. They have their own IPs and games. Just let your companies, man, bring back SOCOM and be more creative and make newer IPs. Build your own Call of Duty. Nintendo should make their own Call of Duty as well. But whatever, man. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you think about the acquisition. Should Sony be worried? Do you think Sony's worried? Should Nintendo be worried? Do you think Nintendo's worried? Do you think nobody really gives a damn about Microsoft buying stuff up? But it's just going too crazy right now on the internet, and I just had to put my 2 cents in on the situation. Microsoft can buy all the studios they want. That won't help them. You have to build relationship with the studios. It's not you can't buy talent. You know, you have to you have to nurture talent. Excuse me, you got to nurture talent. You got to groom talent. They got to grow with you. Just like how developers were comfortable with Sony in the PS1 era. You have to do the same thing. Microsoft has learned that. And after watching that Power On Xbox story, it made me see Xbox in a negative light, because they were never about the gamers. They don't give a shit about gaming. They don't know nothing about gaming. It's all about money for them. And I don't really support them. They make good systems. I like their systems, but I don't like that DRM. You can't really play your games offline. But what's the sense of having a good system, nice graphics, but no games? Anyway, Red Crimson 102 out. Like and subscribe.